Some of the tips or tricks I've made over the years is trimmer cord. I've seen other people suggest this. A long wire tie would also work. That's for if the leak is right up near the top, at the top of the hose. Most of the time, most leaks are not near the top. They're mostly down at the bottom, but sometimes they are. I'd say probably 85% of the time it's down near the bottom and it's not near the top. But I still try this every time. And what you would do is you would just take a long wire tie or this, and you would run it down in here. You would find the hole with it, and it's kind of hard to do with one hand, but you would run it down in there, and you'd keep pushing it down in there and see if the water disappears. All right, and if you had water standing in there, you would see it disappear, and I have yet to see water, so that didn't work. The other thing I've rigged up here is, and you could probably come up with something similar, you go to your big box stores and get this vinyl hose. I've got two pieces merged together here, but sometimes you can just use this and jam that down in there. Now most drain tubes probably aren't quite this big, so I came up with this. This is obviously a tip to some sealer. Well, just cut it off small and just kind of screw it on here, and you can kind of jam that down into the drain hole, and because you want it to seal off, and you just blow on the other end, because lung power is not going to blow that thing loose. You can blow, you can put a vacuum on it. I caution you, if you go to put a vacuum on it, aka suck on it, be careful, because if you pull something up out of there, if the blockage gives way and you end up with that in your mouth, you will not be happy. Has to be how I know. But it is effective. And now what we would do is run this. I'll tell you what, let me refilm that one. Okay, here's how you access. It's not always the easiest thing to access, but if you can get to the drain hole with one of these, and I'm telling you, it's not the easiest thing in the world to do. Sometimes it depends on the car, but I've got it in there. And then what I'll generally do is take a pair of needle nose, and all I'm doing is pushing this up against the hole so it seals, and then I'm going to blow on it. And it's a good idea to take a swig of water and blow that through there. Okay. And I do believe it's flowing. I believe that cleared it. Now we're going to push this down and test it again. Look at that. You hear it slurp? It's running out as fast as I can pour it in there. All right, let me see that. And you look for your proof, and there it is, water dripping on the ground. All right, so this one is fixed. This does not just go for a Ford Fusion. This is pretty much any car with this type of sunroof. They all have drains, and they can all get clogged up. And anything can clog it up. Pollen, dirt, leaves, those little caterpillar looking things that come off the trees. I don't know what they're called. Seed pods, bugs. You can't believe how many bugs I pulled out. Probably the weirdest thing I've ever pulled out was a 9mm shell casing. Baffled as to how that got in there, but you couldn't ask for anything to block up a drain anymore. But I mean, anything can get in there. So that is generically how you fix sunroof leaks, and this will apply to most any car. This particular one's a Ford Fusion, but they are all, with minor differences, more or less the same. They all have a deflector, they all have drains over here, and they all have a trough. You can pour water right in here, test and see if it flows. It should flow out fairly rapidly, if not actually slurp. You want it to slurp if at all possible. And if it's not, it might be a good idea to blow through it. The other thing you can do, if yours flow but don't flow that great, get you some type of cleaner. I use window cleaner. I use actually, I don't want to say too many brand names because I don't get paid for them, but I guess it doesn't matter. I use Sprayway, which is great because what's glass cleaner designed to clean off? Bug guts, tree funk, everything, right? Well, that's exactly what's down in here. So you run some down in here and let it go down in there for a few minutes and then chase it with some water. It usually works. The other thing that works really good is windshield washer fluid, because that's also designed to soften up and get rid of just exactly what is down in there. So any questions or comments, let me know. I'll try to help. But generically for sunroofs, this is pretty much how you can clean them out. When you have a super duper tough blockage, sometimes you have to go into the car and do surgery and get to sometimes the tube itself will be kinked somewhere. Maybe they installed it with too tight of a bend and it eventually kinked over. In that case, you're going to have to go down, locate wherever that is, access it, and either reroute it to where it doesn't kink, or maybe even cut it out and shorten it. But for just ones that are clogged, this should take care of it. And these are the tools I use. Hopefully, maybe they're pretty much available anywhere, so hopefully it will help some of y'all. Questions, comments, let me know.